pregnant woman on her way to give birth was unfortunately struck by lightning. By the time she arrived at the hospital, she was on the verge of death. Miraculously, she gave birth to her child just before passing away. But this child was different from the others. He had no hair. His entire skin was pure white. The doctor diagnosed him with albinism, but no one noticed the child's EEG, so dense that it almost filled the entire paper. This meant he was born with an exceptionally strong mind. Unaware of the truth, the father locked the child in the basement like a monster, and left him to be raised by his grandfather, until 18 years later, when the child's grandfather passed away. A sheriff and the head of the orphanage came to adopt him. They had heard that this child had been isolated from the world for 18 long years. When they entered the basement, they found Jack in the corner. At first, they were so shocked by Jack's pure white skin and pink eyes that they were speechless. The head noticed that despite being isolated for so long, Jack could still speak fluently. Not at all like someone who had never gone to school. The head saw a bookshelf on the wall, and casually picked up a profound and obscure book. He asked Jack, "Have you read all these books?" Jack told the head to choose any page. Then Jack began to recite. The more the head listened, the more shocked he became, because it was word for word. Even more shocking was that Jack said he could recite all the books here. The head looked around and found that the basement was filled with books. The head realized that this child was a genius. But the head didn't know that this was just one of Jack's abilities. Jack was taken to the orphanage. His appearance meant that he was destined to be discriminated against by the ignorant. At mealtime, a bully came over to pick on Jack. Jack took the spoon, rubbed it hard a few times, and then all the spoons in the cafeteria were drawn to him, shocking everyone on the spot. This was Jack's second ability, controlling the magnetic force of objects. In physics class, Jack was so nervous that his whole body was twitching, because the teacher was doing an electricity experiment, and Jack and the electric arc on the instrument generated a resonance. The more agitated Jack became, the longer and higher the electric arc grew. One of them suddenly shot out and hit Jack. Jack wasn't electrocuted. Instead, he was firmly attracted to it. Then another electric arc struck, lifting Jack into the air. This was his third ability, attracting electricity. The scene before him completely subverted the physics teacher's perception, but he reacted quickly, picking up a stool and smashing the instrument. This finally interrupted the power. Jack was smoking. When the teacher touched him, the hair on his hand instantly stood up, as if an electric current had passed through his body. Afterwards, the sheriff went to the hospital to visit Jack, but the doctor said he was unharmed, with no traces of being electrocuted at all. When Jack was sent back to the orphanage, a group of experts and scholars were waiting there to study Jack. They treated Jack as an oddity, just like the thugs at the orphanage. Compared to hostile humans, Jack preferred to interact with animals, because this was also one of Jack's other abilities.